We are in. That's simple. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, I'm excited. I right before I joined you, I was listening to Doja Cat, so I'm coming in very hot right now. I'm like at a peak feeling.
Which one is this?
Doja Cat,
Yeah, I have no
she's
idea what you're talking
she's a young rapper,
about.
and she's I don't know, her voice is great.
So you listen to rap most of the time.
Um, I'm kind of more sort of rock and R&B, and I listen to rap once in a while.
So like when you listen to rap, like does it bring your energy up? I think there is some chemicals in our body, in the reline or it's called something like this, that
Hmm.
increase when you listen to music. Do you have any idea about it?
Oh, I just had a theory about the evolutionary reason why music elevates us.
Wow. Okay. Tell me.
Okay. I think it's because, all right, you get sometimes um, the term I've heard in America is earworms, where you get a piece of a song in your head over and over again, right?
So piece of song, you have it over and over, you cannot forget it. Like you can always sing it. Is this what
Yeah,
you
just sort
mean?
of like those moments when you just can't get a song out of your head. It's just like playing in your head constantly. You know
Okay.
those moments?
Mhm.
So that's a natural thing that humans have. Like they just hear music when they don't hear it. You know what I mean? They're thinking of sounds in a way. And so I think before music was invented, our minds would do that, but our minds would do that with, since music didn't exist, it would do that with animal noises. Like I think you would be in the woods and you would hear animal noises that aren't actually there because the brain fills in the silence with noise. So we had to create music so we wouldn't drive ourselves crazy because we're hearing things that aren't there. It
So
doesn't make sense, does it?
wait. So if I don't listen to music,
Yes.
I'm gonna start hearing some voices.
I think you do you ever just have a song in your head that you can't get it out? Like
I
you're
do.
thinking about it.
I
Yeah,
have.
yeah. So I think that's a natural thing that the brain does. And before music existed, what sounds would you hear over and over again? The sounds that exist in the world. So when we were hunters, we would go out into the woods, hear animal noises, and then we would also then hear those noises when nothing was there because we would get sounds stuck in our head. So we had to create music. So we had something else artificial stuck in our head rather than the natural noises of the world that usually indicate danger.
So what do you think is this, like what is it that humans are the only animals that figure it out? Like for example, why are we the only one? Why do you think we are the best or the worst slash the worst?
I'm going to vote humans are the best.
Okay.
I'm going to give us the trophy, even though we do a lot of rotten stuff in the world. But our minds are, I don't know, our minds are more complex. And that just, I don't know, it creates more problems. I don't know. Like consciousness is a curse. We like fuck ourselves up because our brains are too like wild and and wonderful even.
And where
Our
do you
brains
think they come from? Like who you think made it, or what? Where did it come from?
consciousness or
Do you where do you think is our consciousness?
yeah, I
Nobody
don't
knows.
know.
I think nobody knows. It's
Yeah,
just I like to have people and see what they believe. So you have
yeah,
different perspective, not just hear your own perspective.
right. I think I there's the words don't exist for me to express what I feel consciousness comes from. You know what I mean? I probably have some theory, but I just like I don't know how to explain it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I will tell you my theory. So I think
Okay.
that we are in Earth like bacteria. So like
Mm.
if you have your body, everything in your body that grows is good, but you have one
Yeah.
thing that comes and fuck things up, which is,
Mm-hmm.
I would say, Earth is your body and humans is this bacteria.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
So like, you know, you will see grass, you will see snakes, like Earth. And I think that humans are the bacteria. Like we do wars, we burn, we fuck up the ocean, and we were able to make nuclear bomb that could fuck up the whole planet.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Um, okay. I I get it. I can see that we are the bacteria, um, or the virus. I'll throw something else at you. I think the reason humans are horrible to each other because deep down we do know that resistance is what creates growth in people. You
What
know,
what is it?
resistance creates growth.
Mm,
And so there's like healthy resistance, but then there's also unhealthy resistance. But it's so easy to do to take part in the unhealthy resistance because it's still resistance. You know what
mm,
I mean? It's
yeah.
like I think we do want people to grow and improve, but somehow we forgot that that's the end result, and we get focused on like the motivation of like, you know, pushing people, or, you know, just being rotten, downloading our anger on other people, you know. It's like it's still the good, that good stuff can come out of resistance, but I think we fuck up the good kind and the bad kind.
Okay, so okay, it was very interesting for me that you told me. I'm not sure because it's been a long time, but you have some thoughts about Bigfoot. You know, I was working out with my friend before
Yeah.
I do this podcast, and I told
Yeah.
him because I work with him, like
Mm-hmm.
we do work together after the gym, so we hang out. Our houses are not far from each other, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, hurry up. He's like, I told him I have podcast, and I'm like, the guy who's coming today, he has some thoughts about Bigfoot.
Mm.
So honestly, this like makes me think like I I don't believe that Bigfoot exists at all. I don't
Yeah.
think that there is something that called Bigfoot. Like I think it's someone
Mm-hmm.
who play with people brain. Like
Yeah.
he creates some noises and
Pranksters.
yeah, and then he fuck with people brain.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that's very possible. I don't personally believe in Bigfoot, but I believe the world would be a better place if Bigfoot is real.
Wow, why?
I think it's great. You know, okay, so people think he's real, think he's not. There are people who are out there like hunting for him, or not hunting, but searching for him. They want to find him. I think it's I think it's fun to think about that there is a species that exists that doesn't want to be found and then is very good at staying hidden. Like it creates a mystery of something that we want to solve, and it's also sort of like you can't find me because I don't want to be found, and that's my talent. You know what I mean? It's like cool. The
So
Bigfoot win.
what do you know about Bigfoot when you say the world could be better place? Like, is he like Buddha?
Um, it seems like people worship him. I mean, when I was a kid, I thought he was real, you know? And
Why?
then
Why?
as I grew older, I was just like, ah, Bigfoot, it's fake. That's not, it's, you
Who
know, it's a
convinced
joke.
you when you were a kid?
What's that?
Who convinced you that Bigfoot?
Oh, well, there were movies about Bigfoot, and there was even like TV shows like Is Bigfoot Real? Those kinds of like documentary shows. So it was like as a kid you were tricked into believing in him. I think I had a friend who had books about like fake animals like Bigfoot, the Loch Ness monster, stuff like that. So it was like, I don't know, we were tricked into believing these things.
You know, I remember when I was kid, I saw a video for one guy who cut women to two halves, and her
Mhm.
legs ran and her upper body ran.
Yeah.
I don't think it's true. Like like you know, it was just video.
Hmm.
And with video, like when videos first come out, people didn't know. But now we can make video now, and I can edit it, and I can make
Right.
your like your head on my head and my head on your head.
Right. Easy.
So when I was young, I saw this, and I wasn't able to sleep like for days. And whenever I will think about it, it will haunt me
Mm-mm.
because I thought like really there is people who can cut you to half.
Oh,
And
right.
I also believed because it was magic. Because
Yeah.
where I come from, people believe that there is devils.
Oh, yeah, yeah. We have some of those people in the States here, yeah. People who
And
believe demons are real, yeah.
but what's the trick about it? They scare you that the only thing that secure you from devils is the Quran and God,
Mm.
and only the Quran, not even the Bible. The Bible doesn't work.
Right. Right.
So imagine I was so scared to listen to music or rap, but because they say if you start listening to music, if you start going to clubs, if you don't go to the mosque, if you drink alcohol, if you don't like, then devils will have more power on you.
Mm, mm-hmm.
And they used to take me to place. So in Yemen, this is famous. There are too many people who say that they have devil inside them,
Mm-hmm.
and they can. So these people, they take them to place. It's not hospital. It's not mental health.
Right.
It's a leader, mosque leader, or someone who knows
Mm-hmm.
the Quran, and he has. The electricity when you shock someone.
Mm-hmm.
He has that one's how to call it in English, stake, the one you hit someone with, the police use.
Like, oh, well, are you saying static electricity or
Oh, that one, yeah, and normal without electricity, just
oh, like whipping somebody? Whipping you?
yeah, like yeah, when you have something like wood, piece of wood, and you hit someone with it.
Yeah, assault.
Anyway, so they have this
Yeah.
thing. They have that wood that's very thin, and it hurts
Oh, like paddle.
too much.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
And they would hit these people, and the guy who would read the Quran and speak with these people and tell them like come out from this person, like I mean like I don't like I feel like I don't know what's wrong with that. My jacket fall down and I freak out. I was like
Oh, yeah.
fuck.
Well, we're
So,
talking about scary things, so yeah. If anything
yes,
falls here, I'll let you know.
do you have things fall in your house?
Not yet, but
Sometimes, other times.
I mean sometimes, not at the moment. Yeah, not at the moment.
Yeah, but whatever. So I
Yeah.
don't know if these people, there is really something inside them, and I don't know if what they are doing to them is the solution.
Yeah. I don't know. The human mind is weird. It could convince itself of a lot of things. And it's also like
Wow.
it's also freaked out by things that it doesn't understand. You know what I mean? Like even just you didn't grow up watching baseball, right? If you came here and watched a baseball game, you might be like, "What? I don't understand this at all." Did you grow up like watching cricket? Is cricket big in
No.
Yemen? Oh, okay. Well, what did you grow up watching? Any sports?
Well, it's also
Football.
weird. I grew up going like, so when I was kid, my dad believed that TV is not allowed and we should
Oh,
just
got
go to
it.
the mosque and read the Quran. So that's how I.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I see. Well, it's anyway, if I saw a sport that I'm not familiar with, I would probably be lost. And you know what I mean? And it's like that's fine to, confusion is like, I don't know, you can sit with it or it might freak you out. You know what I mean? If you're in a situation you don't know what to do, like you don't know what's going on. I don't know. It's like it's easy to get freaked out, you know?
Because also people, when they see things, do they really see it, or is it the brain that makes them believe that it exists there?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I think that all the time with just like how easy it is to miscommunicate. Like you can pass on information to somebody and then they pass it on to somebody else and they twisted it around and said something that was completely not what you said. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, that's, you mean like also when there is, for example, an accident or something, different people who were there have different opinions.
oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Like all this talk
Would
about living in the
give
mall.
different story.
Yeah. Like it makes me think that, when people talk about the multiverse, like we are living in it because my universe is different than your universe. We're existing in the same existence, but it's like everybody sees everything differently. You know what I mean? Like that is we live in each other's own multiverses and we live in each other's realities. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, it's easy to get freaked out when you think too much about physics.
That, does it? That was my next question. Like when you live in world that we don't know where we come from, we don't know what we see if it's true or no.
Hmm.
We don't know ourselves. Does it like freak you out? Like how do you go through one day? Like just keep going through the days.
Oh, yeah. I think pre-pandemic I did go through some sort of like I think mind shift over the last 2 years. Like I meditate more than I used to. I think I'm happier, or else I've just convinced myself that I'm happier.
Yeah.
uh, um, but I think I was living in like constant panic pre-pandemic.
Wow. So the pandemic affect you, huh?
I mean, like before the pandemic, I think I was always panicked somehow. I was like broke or worried about work or worried about my relationship. It was just like, or worried about like what people's perception of me was. Like, I think I was living in a constant state of terror, but it was like manageable terror. I would still go through life, but it was just like, I think I was always freaked out. Now I'm trying to like be fine with existing.
Like I can feel you when you say that when COVID arrived, we thought it's gonna kill everyone,
Hmm.
especially the older you are, the more risky it is.
Yeah.
The more you are unhealthy, the more. So yeah, and someone is in already freak out situation because if someone is like living his life more normal, it will affect him less.
Yeah.
The health, and that's why they say that you should live your life healthy every day, not because it's not just things doesn't just hit you and break you like by accident. It's day by day, day by day.
Right.
So when you are healthy, you even take things healthy.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's our issue with COVID,
Hmm.
that um, people have different take. Like someone who was paranoid, someone who was already feeling not well, and then COVID come and lockdown, and
Yeah.
someone who was healthy, and like, and then people wants different things. So that's why things got messed up.
Hmm. It Yeah, I mean, it definitely forced a change of perspective, like everywhere, I feel like. Can I share with you, as somebody who now meditates regularly and I used to not, can I share with you why I think meditation is useful?
Yeah, sure. Go for
Okay.
it.
It is because for years I would try to do it, I would hear the benefits of it, and I would try to do it, but I feel like I didn't know why it was useful, you know? And now that I know that why it's useful, I think I'm better at it and it makes sense as to why to do it. Anyway, when you're meditating, when you are just sitting in yourself, not really trying to think about anything, you are practicing, you are just simply existing. You're giving yourself 5, 10, 15 minutes to just exist. And practicing at existing, practicing at being yourself, it makes it easier to be yourself in situations where it is difficult to be yourself.
Wow.
Like, you know, those stressful moments, those things that happen in your life that get you stressed, and then you react in a way that you don't, looking back, you didn't want to react that way because out of panic or fear or whatever. Like, I think meditation helps you get into a state where even when stress happens, you can live in it, deal with it, be your true best self, and handle it that way rather than reacting in a way that might not be helpful to you.
Yeah, sorry, was that your phone?
No, I think there's like traffic noise outside.
Ah,
I
okay.
live I live by a tunnel that takes traffic from New York City to New Jersey. It's always like busy over here.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's not cool. That's not cool because
Right.
this morning I couldn't sleep because there were some noises.
Oh.
So I don't know why. I'm very light sleeper.
Mm-hmm.
Are you heavy sleeper or light sleeper?
I'm usually a heavy sleeper. I'm very good at naps.
Lucky people who cannot
I know.
can even sleep in the car. You can't sleep
Yeah.
in the car, yeah?
Oh, I can. Yeah.
Why? Why some people it's hard. Like for
I
me, when
know.
I want myself to shut down, it's like I'm begging. And the problem is I want to shut down so I can have energy for the next day. I
Mm.
have work, like I cannot lose momentum, or I cannot have one day where I'm just lazy on bed. This
Yeah.
makes me depressed. So I need to shut down to fire up for next
Mm.
day.
I don't have advice as to how to be good at sleeping, but I have a theory as to why I'm good at it.
Okay.
And it's because when I was a kid, I can remember having nightmares when I was a very young kid. A lot of nightmares, a lot of being afraid of the dark. So I spent my youth being fearful of sleeping. And then when I got over that, once I got older, I think my body was just like, I'm not going to go back to that again. Now that I've gotten over my fear of the dark and nightmares, now I can just go to sleep. So I think that's why I'm good at it.
That's
Like I learned at an early age to like get better at sleeping by not being afraid of like going to bed.
well.
Maybe.
I want. You are one of the how to say smooth and easy to talk to because we never cut each other. I feel like you give me so much chance. I like the way you speak.
Oh, thank you.
It's cool to work with you in one podcast. I don't feel
Uh,
like we are fighting.
no, yeah. Good.
Yeah. So tell me about comedy. Let's cool down. Let's
Oh,
put.
sure. Yeah, yeah. I knew we would get to comedy eventually. Yeah. I wasn't panicked.
So when did you start?
Um, it's kind of like a slow. I tried stand up in my 20s and I wasn't good at it. And then I got into improv and enjoyed that and got better at being on stage. And then it made me want to try stand up again. Um, But I honestly say even though I've dabbled in comedy for a lot of my adult life, I say that I've been doing stand-up for 3 to 4 years. That's the short
What
answer.
is improv?
Improv is like doing a play um, without the lines.
So
It's
you
you don't have
mean,
lines that you memorize. You just sort of make it up on improvise a play or a few or some scenes.
wow. So you go to the stage without materials and you just talk.
Yeah. You usually get a suggestion from the audience of like a word or phrase,
They will
and
tell
that's
you jacket, red color.
what's what's that?
Yeah, I mean, like the audience will throw you word and then you
Yeah. And then you just sort of like figure out how to use that, get inspired, start talking. Honestly, the classes I took, the advice was just walk out on stage and start speaking, and you'll figure out something to talk about.
When did you take these classes? Before how many?
I took my first improv class in New York in 2004 when I first moved here from the Midwest.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you go to real class? There weren't like Zoom because now everyone think class
Oh
or
yeah.
Zoom.
Yeah, it was a real class.
That's cool. And
Yeah.
so you've been doing it now. Like you would say to yourself like constantly for like 4 years. Do you like do open mics? You do other mics?
I do open mics. I'll be honest, I realize that I'm kind of a lazy performer because I don't try to write jokes usually. I don't sit down and like try to write jokes. I just like live my life and jokes come to me. And I'm like, "Oh, that's good. I should write that down." And so in some ways I don't try to generate material, and I think that negatively impacts the fact that I don't try to do as many shows as I should. Even
So
though I do,
yeah,
I don't know, I do quite a bit. I
I
should be performing like 5 nights a week, and I'm not. I usually do like 2 nights a week.
oh, I just wanted to ask you. So do you know what kind of like have you figured out like what your joke about or what's your point? What's like because like there are like people like George Carlin, there are people
Yeah,
like Dave Chappelle, there are people like Fluffy.
yeah,
Have you
yeah,
figured out what like or I'm not saying that tell me which one you look like or which
yeah,
one you are part of. No, just tell me like what do you think is your art, your
yeah. I think it's stoner philosophical comedy.
stoner philosophy.
Philosophical
I
comedy.
need to
It's a lot of stupid stuff that comes to me while I'm stoned, and then it's a lot of just sort of like I try to say smart things about the world sometimes. Sometimes I say stupid things about the world.
so it's like Joe Rogan or no, is he philosophical stoner?
I guess it's a little bit like Joe Rogan. I think one of my favorite comedians is Mitch Hedberg, if you've heard his stuff.
You know, I like what you do, so for sure when you recommend this person I will go and watch him.
Yeah.
Because I'm not into the fluffy jokes and like some jokes for people like who, how to say, like, I don't know if you have this phrase in America, but do you have this phrase who like this generation who drink milk from like the kiosk, not even from their
No, I
mom
think I
made
could
them.
guess what it's about.
Is it like fucked up generation? Yeah.
Yeah, like a weaker generation.
So I feel like Fluffy is like this style, you know, he's
Mm.
fat.
Well, I think that this is my new yeah. I my new philosophy on my comedy is that um I don't go on stage to perform. I live my life, but then sometimes I'm living my life on stage. So I don't try to do any persona. I don't like really try to rehearse the way that I deliver my jokes. I just try to be as comfortable and as myself as possible.
When did you feel this, or when did you realize this?
I guess midway through 2021, friends and I started doing outdoor shows here in New York when things started to open up a little bit. We were doing outdoor shows, and because by then I've been meditating a little bit, I just really, I had a lot of friends who were saying, "Oh, I'm nervous to go and perform again," which I understood. And I mean, I've always been nervous to perform sometimes. Like sometimes the nerves just happen, But I wanted to, if it was something I was missing and something I was enjoying and looking forward to doing, so then how can I enjoy it? How can I not be nervous about it? And so I just told myself I should just relax and be myself and be comfortable and not worry if I bomb. Just sort of like live my life honestly, just in front of a microphone once in a while.
And is it working?
I think so.
Because what I want to tell you is, if you sometimes it might take you 5 years, 3 years, 2 years, who knows, after you
Yeah.
find out.
Right.
Some people, they think, oh, I know now how to kick, or I know how to throw a punch, so now I'm gonna go and throw it. After you know how to throw a punch, you need to practice that punch 5 years or 3 years or whatever it takes you to own it.
Oh, yeah.
Have you thought about it that way? That now I found out, but I still don't own it.
I think that's a good way to put it. I've been thinking a lot about how, sometimes when you look back on your life and you think, oh, I should have been at a higher level, or things should have worked out better or something like that. I kind of realize sometimes looking back, like if you were unhappy with how things were, I'm specifically talking about like, performing wise, comedy career stuff, like in some ways it was better than you realize it was at the time. Like I don't make my living doing comedy, but I have gotten paid to do comedy. And I feel like those time looking back 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I was frustrated that I wasn't making my living doing it, but I was still doing it a little bit. And like, that's something to be proud of rather than like being frustrated. So I don't know. I'm trying to always tell myself, you are always better off than you realize. And years from now, looking back on the present, your future self will be like, oh yeah, you did have it great.
Yeah, I agree with you. No, I
Yeah.
totally, I
But
totally agree with any positive point
yeah,
of view that you.
but I'll also be honest, Muaadh, there's times that I will tell myself, maybe I'm just trying to see it that way. You know what I mean? Like I've oddly been doubting the good place, the better place that I've been in mentally. Like there's times where I'm like, oh, I really enjoy my life. I really feel good about what's going on. But then I tell myself, well, should you be enjoying now? Shouldn't you want something more? Maybe you're just fooling yourself. So my brain's still at war with itself, but
You know what? That's the crazy thing about comedy, and that's why
yeah.
it's also very exciting, because
Hmm.
it's some people, they just don't make it. I think that there is something that some people make it and some people don't make it.
Right.
Nobody knows why. Like, there is no one who will come and tell you why, because if someone tell you why, then people will not do that, and they will. So that's also
Yeah.
like, what's
I
success,
I
what
think
is.
it's also very individualistic in some ways. Like what works for one person to find success doesn't necessarily work for another person.
That's also crazy. And
Yeah.
what I think is, you should do something you enjoy,
Yeah.
like podcast. I would really do this podcast with you if I have two viewers or if I have 1 million viewers. It
Right.
will not dismotivate me or motivate me. I
Right.
want to do this. Like I told you, I was excited just because, just to see how you view. I believe that when I talk to someone, I can learn something from them,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
especially when they have different background. Like if I do
Right.
podcast with people from my country, like we grew up there. But there are not too much. The more differences, the more you learn by
Yeah.
talking to people, because everything they look at it with different perspective. So, and I love the art. Like when you do conversation with the people, I just love it, honestly.
Yeah.
So I think when you do something you love, you, even if success come late, you keep doing it. Like
Right.
some people, they do things that they don't love, or they do it for the money. So by the time success come, they already quit.
Yeah.
So I think just find something that if you have $10 million, you will still do it for,
Yeah.
because you
I
enjoy.
mean, yeah, I have been performing to 5 people consistently like my whole comedy career, and I'm still doing it, you know? If I have 5 people who come out to see me, that's a crowd, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I was so happy this weekend. I play volleyball,
Hmm.
and I had 20. So the whole team, they come to my apartment to watch me.
Uh,
20, like we didn't even find space, like, or sit chairs. It was good, but it's crazy. It's crazy that, like, we don't know. Like,
oh yeah.
so what do you think? Like, why does it work for some people and some people no? Or what's
Uh,
going on? Like, what's your theory on this?
I think, well, so it's very individualistic. So I think you do have to find what works for you and
Mhm.
focus on that. I heard a great analogy once about, I don't know much about sports, but I hear sports analogies and I think they're great. So, pitching in baseball is very unique to each pitcher. It's all comes down to how the mechanics of how your body works when you throw a ball. So somebody throws a fastball differently than another person throws a fastball. So hopefully you have a good coach that figures out how to teach you to pitch that the best way that your body will pitch. Um, and so how that relates to comedy is that we all have our unique ways of seeing the world. And I think that if you express yourself truly how you do see the world, like that's the way to do it, you know? And I
Wow.
think and I think sometimes, you know, we all hear advice about like work this way, write this way, that sort of stuff. Sometimes that advice does work when it focuses our true self, but sometimes it gets in the way of our true self. We do like start doing things like I sometimes teach comedy, and if somebody brings me a joke that doesn't work, I ask them, why do you want to say it? Why this specific joke? Why do you want to say it? And if they just say that they think it's funny, then I don't think it's worth telling. But if they have if it reflects some true belief in them, then it's worth telling because they really believe in it.
Well, I think, if I believe in the joke, I write it down. If I
Yeah.
don't believe in it and I think it's funny, I will just riff with it, or
Oh,
like
sure.
make it on the beginning, at the end, just to fit the 5 minutes, and just
Hmm.
to put that mentality that I can always come with new stuff, play with them and throw them just for the moment.
Yeah.
And the things that I believe in them and I like them and they represent me, I keep them. The other
Hmm.
funny talk, not everything that people laugh for is my joke. No, some is just like I downloaded McDonald's app, and like I ordered, they give me free burger and I delete it. So
Hmm.
I made it funny story yesterday, the way I said it and
Yeah.
how I did. But I'm not gonna write it down because, like, it's funny, but if like, am I gonna tell every like I downloaded my
Yeah,
maybe in 2 years this app will not exist or like, but there are
right,
people that represent me, how I feel, and I want to change something in the audience mind.
right.
Unless maybe
Yeah,
McDonald's app felt something to me, maybe for someone else, they want to represent something to people, but I just didn't find it.
yeah. There's times that I've done jokes that have done very well, and then I just stopped saying them because it's just sort of like I've kind of moved on from having those. I don't need to think about that specific thing anymore. Or you know what I mean? It's like um it's less truthful somehow.
Yeah,
And with your app story, it's like it's true because it just happened and you just did it. And 5 weeks from now, it won't be something that you just did. You've moved on from it. You've deleted it. There's no reason to talk about it anymore. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So
that,
I understand not holding on to jokes that even though they might work, you don't need to tell them anymore.
yeah, because
I,
yeah, go for it.
I think it's good to get in the habit of abandoning material because it's like it forces you to create new things.
Yeah, I got you. And some people, they think that you should tight 30 minutes, salad, tight it
Mm.
up,
Oh
tight
yeah,
1 hour. Now I
right,
have 1 hour. Woo, really? Can you do 1 hour? You have 1 hour materials? Wow,
right.
this would took me 10 years. And if the audience doesn't laugh, they are like, this audience doesn't understand my art.
Oh yeah,
What the fuck?
yeah,
And I even heard that comedian they do Netflix just to attract people to come and listen to them. That's not like,
mm.
and if you even like comedian Netflix, it's like just advertisement for them. And I mean, like, I feel like it's crazy, and I wish I'm not one of them. That's also
Yeah.
another certainty, because some people they lose their life doing it the wrong way.
Oh sure.
Some people go to the gym, spend all their life to end up in the surgery room.
Yeah,
Like imagine someone who every day wake up 7 o'clock, eat healthy, every day he doesn't quit for 1 year, never missed one day to go to the gym, but he end up doing surgery because he do it the wrong way. And it's
right.
weird with comedy because if you are not yet doing like money and you are not famous and you don't have big audience, you don't know if you are doing it the right way or the wrong way, and there is no one to come and tell you, look, you like to correct you. So that's
Yeah.
like
I think perfection is something that is worth pursuing in medicine or like legal fields. But like there's no perfect way to do comedy or art or music. So it's, you know, trying to do, and I've been guilty of it where I've tried to make things too perfect, you know, and it kind of ruins it. Um, I always equate being a good comedian is like driving with your knees. Have you ever
driving
driven?
knees.
Have you ever like steered the car with your knees? Like you've taken your hands off the wheel for something? Like you can
I did
steer
it.
with your knees for a little while, but you wouldn't drive like 20 minutes just with your knees. You'd be all over the road. It would look silly
Yeah.
from the outside. So I feel like comedy is best when you're not tightly gripping the steering wheel. You have like a very loose grasp of it. Is the analogy that I use.
Okay. uh, I just want to be honest with you. Good analogy, but like that's why, like, exactly, if your analogy doesn't go on my perspective,
Oh, sure.
I might be wrong. So,
Yeah.
but I don't like this is, but before when I use my phone or I'm eating and using my phone and driving, I will put my leg up just to hold
The wheel, yeah.
the wheel, and I'm on the highway. Like I can drive the highway and do anything you want.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Straight away. But after I meet my girl, she's like, no, 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 this is dangerous. When you are driving,
Oh yeah.
you should not be distracted with anything because you're gonna
Right.
go to heaven with your phone and the sandwich.
Yeah. Well, I haven't met your girlfriend, but I suspect that there's a small part of her that likes the danger. I know she says that I know she's pointing it out and she's telling you that it's dangerous, but I think she likes it a little bit
Why?
because it makes life just slightly more thrilling.
Ah, what?
There's a little bit of like safe danger, you know?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
God.
live I live on the 27th floor of my apartment building, and I have one window that I can open pretty far. It's slightly dangerous. I mean, you wouldn't want to accidentally fall out of it, you know? And I feel like when I have friends over, I'll show them how much I can open the window. People get a little scared, but I think they like it a little bit. I think it makes the party just a little bit more exciting.
What the fuck? And you shouldn't use drugs or anything in your apartment or weed.
No, I wouldn't. Not with the window open. But it's safe danger. That's what I think like comedy is, like good jokes are safe danger. It's like people laugh because they hear something in a perspective that they've never heard before. It conflicts with how they view the world, and it's kind of a small shock, but no, there's no harm in hearing this new thought, so it's funny. Safe danger. That's what comedy is, I think.
Yeah, I was just thinking about it. I'm like, if you are a person who like to smoke or like to do some drugs or mushroom, maybe you
Yeah.
should not live in a house with like dangerous stairs or with
No.
window like yours because you might open it and fall down. But I think again, what if you open the oven and put your hand in it, or I don't know, like,
Yeah.
is it more
There's
dangerous to have the window? Like, if the window is closed, if you would harm yourself and open it and jump, you could harm yourself with anything. So
right.
I think you are good. So don't worry. Just close
Okay,
it.
yeah. I feel safe. I do.
Yeah. Um. So now, do you do now like comedy online or you don't do it? Because I don't see you in the Zoom at all.
Oh yeah, I do comedy once in a while. I'm involved in a show called Stoner Morning Show. It's a parody of like morning talk shows, but it's hosted by stoner friends. And so we live stream Saturday mornings on Facebook Live, but then we do live shows. My buddy Ralph and we live in New York. We're doing a live version of the show tonight in Brooklyn. So yeah, I'm online once in a while. Yes, is the answer.
So this show, okay, and open mics, or you don't do the Zoom open mics at all? You don't
I
like
do them
that?
once in a while. I met you on yours because my friend Valerie dragged me to. She didn't drag me, but she invited me. Which I should invite more friends to invite me to do more things, comedy wise, because it's easy motivation if somebody is dragging me
Yeah,
to.
I do open mic every Wednesday,
Yeah,
and every Saturday,
yeah.
and I do pop up almost every day.
Oh, nice. That's good to
So
know.
there is almost every day.
I used to do more live open mics, but I got to the point where, in some ways, this is a little too confident and cocky. But if I come up with a joke, I know it'll work, and I just test it out in a regular show instead of trying it out at an open mic. I like the danger of kind of trying new material in front of an
But
audience.
you know what's crazy?
Yeah.
Sometimes the first time, oh, I I don't know. I feel like there is also magic on the first time you say the joke, that you
Oh,
are
yeah.
really being yourself and it's coming organic. That
There
moment,
is.
smooth, fresh.
Yeah.
There is a high risk that it doesn't work. And that's
Right.
why there is high return when it works.
Yeah. I constantly try to remind myself that even the jokes that I know work, I should always remember that I'm just trying a joke. Every joke I tell, every story I tell, I'm just trying it. Even if I've told it 100 times and it works 95% of the time, each time you're telling it, you're just trying it again. Like there's no guaranteed laugh, I don't think.
Yeah. I don't know for how long you can stay, but as always, I'm hungry.
Oh yeah.
And I just really want to thank you again for coming, and I want to thank you.
Yeah.
So easy to follow up and talk to you. Like you are so like easy and so smooth. So I wish everyone would be as easy as you.
Well, you got me at a very good moment because, as I said, I was listening to Doja Cat. I'll send you a link. She's really good. She put me in the perfect mood to have a conversation.
That's cool. So
Yeah.
one more question. How do you say that you get booked to some shows? How do they find you?
Like through my website and stuff. Is
So
that what
do
you're?
you like advertise your website? Where do you put your website for people to find you?
I think that so my website ShawnWickens.com. I think most people find me through the other show I do, Stoner Morning Show. I think a lot of times people see that and then they're like, who are these guys? And so I think that helps as well.
Okay, that's cool.
And
So
yeah, and I also put up my own shows sometimes. Sometimes I rent space and book comedians and try to pay everybody.
where do you do them?
Here in Manhattan, I do a regular show at the Producers Club, Midtown, every month. Sometimes I'm doing stuff in Brooklyn. It's always kind of random.
And in social media, you use Facebook, Instagram,
Yeah, Instagram, Shawn Wickens at SHWICKENS.
and you use Facebook as well.
Yeah, I'm on there.
Okay, I will even put them down.
Okay, yeah. People can Google me.
That's cool.
Actually, you can go to staleedibles.com. That's an easy way. That forwards to my website. It's a long story. It's kind of an inside joke.
Okay, so 1 minute. So let's do this and we can end it up.
Okay.
Still, show me again. Still, I like
Staleedibles.com.
the word edible. So tell me about this.
Well, it's a joke shirt. It's a business
Ah,
where you either buy stale edibles or you sell them. I don't know. I think it's just it might drop in people's minds if they see it. Stale edibles, what's that? And then if they go to that website, it'll take them to my website.
oh, so people can go to Google and write stilledible.com and they can find you.
Yeah. It's
I
a
like
trick. Yeah.
that's cool. So you want to tell me the story and the joke and
Well, the story is that it might not be much of a joke, but I had a stale brownie that a friend gave me, or they gave me a brownie. I left it out for a month. It became rock hard, but it was strong. So I cut it up into 10 slices, a full brownie in 10 slices. I had 1/10 of this brownie, and everything was funny to me. I was amazed that the stale edible worked. So I decided to buy the domain name Stale Edibles
so
because
yeah.
I let it be known if anyone has stale edibles, I'll take them off of their hands for free because they still work. They
But
might
what
be
was in
stronger
the
than fresh edibles.
what was in the brownie? That's what's in my mind.
Oh, there was some cannabis in it.
Only cannabis.
Yeah, and chocolate. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean just from the side because when you say brownie, like what did you put inside it? So
Oh, yeah.
yeah, some people would be like, you eat the brownie and that's like, yeah. Well, so that's cool. I like your t-shirt. Can people buy
Thank
your
you.
t-shirt?
I think I have a link on my website to buy these as well. Yeah, I think you can buy this off my website.
It was really exciting to talk to you. So thank
Thank
you for
you.
giving me the opportunity.
Yeah, we'll do it again.
Yeah, I hope to see you in any, like, let me know whenever you want to do the Zoom mics. There is almost every day.
Will
I would
do.
always be happy to see you. So thank you
Awesome.
so much.
Great. Thank you, Muaadh.
Bye bye. All the best, Juan. Bye bye.